What's up, guys? It's your boy. You already know who it be. It be the one, the only Pirate King Wise. Holy fuck. This is gonna be an Omega bias stream. Okay, so Luffy, by the title, I'll probably name it Luffy has Toon Force GG. That's it. It's fucking over. How do you explain this? This is not just a simple like gag. No. Cause then he actually has to put on the fucking scab and the fucking his little scar under his eye, and he's like, whoo, that was close. But if we look, right, this guy loses the fluff off of his jeans. He loses the fucking sandals off his feet. He loses his hat. He loses his eyeballs. He loses the clouds. He loses his scar. He loses both scars on his body and on his fucking... Nah. This is some Toon Force shit. He's physically holding a scar and he like has to like put it back on like a sticker. Like, then we get Gorosei action, yo. Fucking Gorosei are looking like they're above Admiral. I think Dory and Brogy are like really strong, so I think potentially like Gorosei are probably like, yeah, they're probably Admiral. But back to the Toon Force. Luffy goes gear 3rd in his gear 5th form, or I guess muscle balloon. He grabs a tree, he starts biting it like it's a fucking toothpick, and then in the next part he fucking paints it, literally not taken out of context. If you don't believe me, fucking read chapter 1111 and you can see for yourself. Luffy literally turns this shit into a fucking bat with the number 56. He has a black paintbrush and well, not a black paintbrush, but he has a bucket of paint, and I don't know where the fuck he pulls out the hat, but he manages to pull this shit out of his fucking, like, I don't know where. And he just fucking just hits venom. He hits liquid. These aren't baseballs, mind you. The attack is already coming. It's already coming at the person, like, it's already coming at Luffy, right? Like, Luffy's reaction, right? This is Luffy's literal fucking reaction, right? I'm gonna act it out for you, right? He's like, Hatui, Hatui, Tui. Luffy's like, oh shit, that's venom. Watch out. Like he pulls out a bucket of paint, ha, deep, and he's like, ha, batter up. Ding! And he fucking hits all 16. I think it's like 16. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I guess maybe it's like 16. It's like 15, 16, right? And he hits all of them. He hits all of them and they fucking explode in the goddamn next scene. Like, what the fuck? Even Luffy's like, what the fuck is going on? I don't know if this is explosive venom. We don't understand, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4 explosions. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I gotta switch the scene. 1, 2, 3, 4 explosions happen. I don't know if this venom is explosive. I mean, I would have to search up, can venom even be explosive? It hasn't been stated. Can venom be explosive? I feel like FBI is about to fucking search my computer. Can venom be explosive? I don't think so. I don't think you can like make just. But yeah, that makes no sense, right? Because like, think about it. He just hit it, so therefore they didn't blow up on contact. They only like. Think about how crazy that is. So he made a bat. So let's assume that the bat is now made out of rubber. Then let's assume that he also then turned the venom into rubber, and then he can essentially just knock it back. And then when it hits something actually physical, then it actually explodes. That's pretty much headcanon. But that's pretty much what the fuck happened. So then we see Kizaru. He's like, my wounds run deep. Everybody in the community has like mixed feelings about this, whether or not he's like referring to like what he just did to Vegapunk and yada yada, and like he's just done. Like he doesn't want to fight no more. He's fucking done. Like whether you want to say like he lost in a battle, or whether or not you want to say like he's just done mentally, like he's done fighting. So most likely, I think Egghead is probably gonna wrap up soon. This is the climax. It just makes sense. Like I think we're gonna end here with Egghead. I think they're gonna try to run away. There's gonna be like, you know, problems and stuff like that. But Luffy, my God, my mind is literally fucking blown by Luffy doing this. Like, where did he get the hat from? I don't fucking know. Where he got the bucket of paint and paintbrush, I don't fucking know. Like, you could argue that him grabbing the tree and like biting it is like possible, and it's not Toon Force. But this is like, bro, you reading this shit, you're like, my mind was like, what the fuck did he just, like, bro, he literally just did some Looney Tune shit. He genuinely just did, like, this is Toon Force. So do I think, as a power scaler, where do I put this? Like, oh man, this is crazy. So first off, right? Luffy essentially was getting like his existence wiped away by a Conqueror's Haki roar, which I think his name is Mars War Curry. So Mars War Curry does a Conqueror's Haki roar, and it's essentially like, I guess, wiping the like existence away from like Nika. So it looks like Haki can definitely, I guess, affect him. But it's so weird because it's like, is he essentially, he's like, okay, first off, it doesn't make sense for you to like, if you lost your scar, that's your skin, right? So it's like he's losing his skin and he like slaps it back on, right? And he's like, damn, that was fucking close. And he puts on his scar back on and shit. But it's like, it's so fucking like crazy to see him doing this, because it's like, how do I scale this? It's like, well, it's just Toon Force. So how, if this doesn't put Gear 5 at a whole new fucking, like, if even if you were fucking Universal, I'm about to throw some shade to like Naruto scalers. Even if you were Universal, what the fuck are you gonna do to stop this guy? Like, in reality, you do nothing. His literal existence is getting wiped away, and he just puts himself back together like nothing happened. And then he just pulls, like, I don't know what he's gonna do, but I know he's going to fucking laugh at you, and he's gonna make you look like a fucking clown, like he did Kaido. And mind you, Kaido has Haki, so it's like, to argue, let's say, like, now this definitely makes me feel like, I feel a lot safer saying that Luffy is safe in both Bleach. I think he's fine in Bleach. I think he'd be fine in Dragon Ball Z. I think he'd be fine in Naruto's world. I don't think he's really gonna struggle against anybody, except for maybe like a Raleigh. A Raleigh's like the only one you could probably argue is probably like the most broken character in Dragon Ball Z, or in the Dragon Ball Z verse, essentially. So it's like, yeah, she's ridiculously powerful, essentially. She can pretty much fight Beerus, I think. So it's like, this is like a little girl with just regular Toon Force. Like, obviously you scale it based off of like what you've seen them do, but like, essentially Luffy has been able to adapt to every situation that he's been put in with Gear 5. He has not been placed in danger, not a single time, while in Gear 5. and everything's always about a joke. And somehow he's able to like matter manipulate fucking like paint out of no. I genuinely. So now the anime is 100% canon for this, because when we actually see this animated, that's genuinely what I'm going to be like, okay, that's what happened. Because if we see him in the anime like find a bucket of paint randomly, then I'd be like, all right, there you go. That's not Toon Force. Like, it's crazy that he turned. Like, first off, like I said, it's fucking crazy to. It's like, imagine if Naruto or Goku threw a Kamehameha wave at somebody, and they take their sweet time like waiting for it to come. That's what Luffy's doing. Like, he's like, all right, I'm gonna smack this shit out of the park. Swing, batter, swing, boom, fucking, and just knock that shit out of the park like it's like some sort of baseball. Like, doesn't make any sense. But that, mind you, One Piece hadn't introduced baseball not one single time in the manga. So baseball is not even canon. Baseball is in a 2004 One Piece game for the Game Boy Advance. If you search up baseball One Piece, there's a film for baseball that is not canon. So there is literally no fucking canon events of baseball ever happening in the show. And my guy just says, fuck it. Baseball now exists in my universe. And it's even crazier because you could argue like, okay, bat, like, okay, you don't need a fucking bat. Or he could have just made it into a stick is the crazy part. But the detail and like him putting the 56 and the paint is like the extra touch of like, it's like extra what the fuck. It's not like I'm gassing this shit out of existence. No. It's like Naruto's throwing Rasen Shuriken, and even before the Rasen Shuriken touches, Luffy's looking at a watch that he doesn't even have, and then he's like, oh, I don't even have a watch. Let me draw it on real quick. Oh, shit, it's coming. And he fucking, like, grabs his hat, fucking puts the Rasen Shuriken into his hat, and he's like, oh, shit, and he fucking, like, boom, and he fucking, like, just shoots it back with his fucking hat. Like, that's pretty much what Luffy just did. If Luffy would have done this with his hat, I would have been like, GG. Nothing stopping him. Unless you have fucking insane, like, ability and hockey, you're not stopping this fucker. I have to, Luffy. The crazy part is Luffy's not even showing, like, maximum potential. This is only but a taste of what the fuck we're about to see. And yeah, now I can actually genuinely say, like, yeah, Luffy can pull out anything. I don't know what he's gonna do. So to even argue, like, bro, like, this is disgusting. I'm genuinely curious to see how fucking One Piece Battle Dome, like the Otaku Battle Dome. I'm curious to see how other, like, people who don't like One Piece, who think One Piece is trash or mid or whatever, who thinks it just sucks in general. I'm genuinely curious to see how they scale this feat. I think they need to reconsider the fact that, yeah, Luffy can fight however he fucking wants now. And like, comparing him to Grammy is understatement. Like, this is, Grammy has no Toon Force. This is Toon Force. This is like, he's just, I'm not saying like, okay, fucking, like, he's fucking because Grammy had limits. Grammy had his own, like, limitation on himself. Luffy, in his head, if his goal is to whoop your ass, he's gonna win. If he doesn't think he can beat you at that point, he's just gonna run away. And you're not gonna be able to catch him because based off of the story, he's just the luckiest person in his verse. If you were Goku or anybody, like, if Luffy does some Goku shit in fucking One Piece, I'm gonna lose my mind. It's like to like to show like Akira Toriyama respect. Like, bro, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. Like, if there's a cover story like of like Luffy learning Kamehameha Wave with like Goku or some shit, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. Because I mean, that means Goku is a part of the universe, and somehow I'd fucking lose my mind. But like, I could actually argue Luffy stands a chance at beating Goku. He stands a chance at beating Superman as well, just by the fact that he has Toon Force. He can pretty much do anything he wants. Just like fucking how it says in the Road to Laugh Tale, essentially. Road to Laugh Tale, Part 4. He can pretty much do anything he fucking fancies. You could do what, like, peak imagination, essentially. Road to Laugh Tale. So now it's fucking crazy because where we go from here, it's only up. So let's see. I think there's a part here where it does talk about a little bit of the Nika, the warrior liberation. Okay, so there's a lot of data. Essentially there's a lot of like so like this is one part of it. There's in combat they're supposedly only limited by their imagination, putting smiles on faces far and wide. They are the embodiment of the warrior of liberation. Its user body gains the properties of rubber. One thing I'm starting to realize more and more, Luffy is actually a cartoon character. Like he is acting like fucking Popeye. So apparently in Japanese this is translated differently, but there's multiple references to like imagination, so it's like either imagination is not the best translation for this, or there's something wrong with the Japanese, right? So there's another one that it says Luffy's peak, the ability to turn imagination into reality. Some guy tried to actually translate this, and I think he did a horrible job. Like, not good. I'm not gonna name names, but yes, I'm just gonna show you the post essentially of like the actual translation of this, and I'm gonna explain why it's fucking wrong. If I see anybody like trying to argue this, I'm just gonna be like, no, you don't know how to translate. Hey, you definitely don't know how to speak proper English, and let me see. I have to see which one it is. So this essentially proves that Luffy has the bizarre ability to rubberize one's surroundings, can even make lightning grabbable. Yeah. He can essentially affect any substance, anything. No, I don't think it's this. Is it here? I don't think so. I guess not. So someone tried to translate it, and according to him, it means this. And I'm gonna explain why this is like an incorrect translation of it, right? So we can literally look at it together, right? So we can literally see it together, right? So let's look at it side by side. Let's shrink it down. All right, let's look at it side by side. So you guys can probably see this. Alright, let's make it a little bit more, I guess, noticeable. Alright. Okay, so it's supposed to be this part, right? It's supposed to be this part right here that we're seeing. So it's supposed to be rubber gum fruit awakening that hasn't happened in the past hundreds of years. This is incorrect English. I mean, just say it out loud. First off, it's not the rubber gum fruit. It's the rubber fruit or the gum fruit. You say one of the two. You don't say rubber gum fruit. It's not bungee gum. That's incorrect. Then that hasn't happened in the past hundreds of years is also incorrect, because it says an 800-year-long gap between awakenings, when one's mind and body are finally able to harness the true potential of the devil fruit. An awakening occurs. This particular fruit hadn't been awakened in 800 years, but when it was, its alternate name became clear. So then it says, when a person catches up with the ability of the person who ate the fruit, another name of the fruit is clearly realized. So there's a lot of problems with this. First off, when you say when a person, like, this is just weird. Like, when one's when you say when one catches up with the ability of their devil fruit, not it who ate the fruit, another name of the fruit is clear. Like, this is not proper English, if that makes sense. When a person, like, listen to me say it, when a person catches up with the ability, quotation marks, of the person who ate the fruit, another name of the fruit is clearly realized. That's not proper English. Anyone who thinks that sentence is correct is very smart. Today's overwhelmingly strong work, I am convinced that this newly obtained power, which manifested the appearance of Nika, the god of sun, in the death battle with Kaido, is the ultimate goal of the power that I sought. Kon Kaido N.A. A Defias Monkey D. Luffy Gear 5 Human Achievement Model Ni. Yup, nothing about imagination. Let me get another one, because they will do anything to prove you wrong. So a lot of people don't understand that. They don't understand. Like, translating like Japanese to English is not as simple as you would think it is. There's a lot of nuances. It's not as simple as just, I could put it into any translation and figure it out. You could do this, but it won't work 80% of the time, I think. There's like a 20% time it might work properly, but it might not work like most of the fucking time. Obviously, I made those numbers up. It probably won't go for you the way, like, normally that you would want it to. It just doesn't make any sense. First off, the reason why this doesn't make any sense. I am convinced that this newly obtained power, which manifested the appearance of Nika, which Luffy doesn't know of, the god of sun, which Luffy also doesn't know of. We know this because even unironically in this latest chapter, Brogy and Dory literally mentioned to Dory, you look like sun god Nika. He doesn't. He is not aware of the fact that he looks like somebody else from history long ago. It's never been mentioned to him until now. So it doesn't make sense to say this is the ultimate goal of the power that I sought, because that's referring to Luffy saying that. Now, if you said that's the narrator, why the fuck is the narrator and the narrator saying, like, this is the ultimate goal of power that I sought? Like, no, that doesn't make any sense. Then the next part is like Hokkaido N.A. Like, this shit don't make no fucking sense. So going back to this, you know, Luffy was convinced that he had finally reached the peak of his abilities, but he hadn't. Like, when he discovered his Nika form during Deathmatch. So he discovered his Nika form. That does not mean he knows about the Nika form. Does that make sense? He discovered his Nika form during his deathmatch with the mighty Kaido. That does not mean he actually knows what the fuck this is. He doesn't know that he's Monkey D. Luffy, Gear 5, Mythical Human Zone Fruit, Model Nika. He doesn't know that. Right? So it's like, it doesn't make sense to say Luffy knows that he is Nika. He doesn't know that that he looks like Nika, that he is this character, right? So it's problematic to say that this is the case, right? So to say that is kind of cap, and that translation essentially says otherwise, that like there is no imagination. I just showed you 2 parts of said Road to Laugh Tale that talks about imagination. I can show you I think maybe 2 more statements by this. This is the Road to Laugh Tale. This is essentially this, let me see. Unique superhuman fruit powers allows for ability that change the property of one's body, or else 1 to manipulate or produce something, a wide range miscellaneous fruits. Abilities fall under this umbrella term. So I don't think it has Luffy's fruit here. Okay, yeah, it does have gum fruit, but a number of mysterious fruits that are scattered throughout the world. Okay, so this part is just talking about paramecia types. So it actually classifies Luffy's fruit as a paramecia, the forbidden fruits of temptation, that are scattered throughout the world. Those who acquire their, so essentially, if you're paramecia, you have the ability to manipulate or produce something, a wide range, miscellaneous, yada yada, right? That's what it says. And it goes through all of them. We have ancient zones, we have Logia types. As of now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 Logias. Then we have the mythical zone. So Luffy is actually considered both a paramecia and a mythical zone based off of this. So essentially, mythical zone types, even among Del fruits, these are extremely rare. The majority of them seem to possess unique abilities akin to paramecias on top of the standard zone transformations. Bring those children. Okay, so it says mythical human zone fruit model Nika and Monkey D. Luffy. So he's classified as both. So zone type awakenings don't affect their surroundings. Instead, the user seems to develop a striking new transformation. That's what happens with the zone awakening. But Luffy goes beyond that. Okay, so it does have it in the bottom right here. The will dwells within a fruit. So yeah, there's like, you know, just talking about Luffy and stuff like that. And then in the next one, we literally get in Road to Laugh Tale Part 4, we get a little bit more of him saying, like, you know, Luffy has imagination and like power. Essentially, the 4th batch of concept art is all about Gear 5th. Concept art here shows Luffy striking new gear, witness the peak of his powers. A dramatic change these sketches emphasize the Luffiness of this form. So one part, it says literally utilizing the power of imagination. So, I mean, I can expand it. Utilizing the power of imagination, Luffy's powers, unlike paramecia, carry risks, impel down, yada yada. So this is one part, right? That says utilizing the power of imagination. Then underneath it, it says that it's like, you know, utilizing the power of imagination. So there's like even that part too. So this part right here, oh shit. Okay, so it says a few minor notes concerning Nika. A couple interesting points are mentioned, such as the power of imagination and the drawbacks of zone awakenings. So yes, and then on top of that, we have this statement as well. There's a lot of statements essentially backing this up. So then we get this. Luffy said it best himself. Anything's possible now. Gear 5 gives him unparalleled freedom to fight in a way that defies common sense. Even the ones taking his attacks are affected. So let's look at the word unparalleled, right? So when you say unparalleled freedom, let's look at unparalleled, right? In quotation marks. Having no equal or exception. Having no parallel or equal. So like having no equal, essentially. Exceptional, unique, singular, rare, unprecedented, unequaled, matchless, unmatched, peerless, unrivaled, unsurpassed, unsurpassable, unexcelled, superlative, incomparable, beyond compare. So that is the definition of unparalleled. Now let's look at freedom. So obviously, freedom is the power or right to act, speak, and change as one wants without hindrance or restraint. So he can essentially do whatever the fuck he wants, right? Because it says unparalleled freedom to fight in a way that defies common sense. So he is unequal in freedom in the way that he fights. No one matches him in that, right? In the way that he fights, he's unequal. So, or he has no equal, essentially, in the way that he fights. He's unique, right? So you could probably say like, oh, you know, like, this probably doesn't necessarily mean that like he can like, you know, do whatever the fuck he wants, right? You might just be like, okay, no one can fight like him. That's pretty much what it means. All right, let's dumb it down like that. That's fine, right? So then we have other statements, essentially, his body. So this is another statement that's like kind of like a limitless feature to it. His body has the properties of rubber. It adapts on its own. A warrior who spreads laughter and relieves suffering. The more he laughs, the stronger he gets. So if that is true, right? If you agree that the more he, that means him just trolling is getting better and better and better. Every time he laughs, he's getting stronger, right? So it's like, is this even true to the fact that that essentially like if he masters this fucking fruit, essentially he's just going to be unstoppable. Then we have like a actual feat stated by the author, you know, where he says the sky is torn. So this is talking about just, this is not even talking about, I think, the clash. The sky is torn. The reverberations can be felt from 8,000 miles away. So just the vibration of this thing moving is being felt from 1,000 miles away. That's pretty much a continental level feat, just based off of the fact that, like, this is not even including the anime. If you look at how the anime represents the Bajrang gun, it's insane. He like punches Kaido, brings it back, punches Kaido again, right? And mind you, he doesn't punch into the island. He doesn't like punch anywhere. Like, this is fucking disgusting. So, let me see. Kaido's tough hide and haki made him an iron wall, but this powerful technique beat him. The concept notes for Gomu Gomu no Bajrang gun include some storyboard-like sketches. So, yeah. Essentially, Kaido's tough hide and haki made him an iron wall. So, let's assume that he always has haki on, I guess, when he's defending. And Luffy just said, fuck haki. And your irons, your like really durable skin, fuck that shit. Fuck that. I'm going straight through that shit. So there's even more durability negation, I guess. So it's like, bro, we got Rio, we got armament, we got fucking Gear 5 now is going right through you and shit. Like, so I would say personally, where I would scale Luffy right now, I still think he's above Naruto. It's gonna be really, really hard to beat this. I think even Boruto, what I'm hearing now is like he has like this infinite vortex, like Rasengan, that like if he hits you with this thing, or I think if you touch him, like you're just gonna fucking get hit with this Rasengan off rip and shit. And I'm just like, well, if that's the fucking case, Luffy's probably gonna go against that shit in some way, shape, or form. So even if you bring up Boruto, I think Luffy probably still wins. I think he still speed blitz him. I think he'll negate whatever that ability is. Where if you touch him, like you're gonna get like fucked. I think Luffy will probably just surpass that. Why? Because in reality he doesn't need to touch you. So if he uses Rio, he doesn't need to touch you. So he can essentially affect you without touching you. That's assuming he feels the need that like according to what I've heard, I don't know. I don't know how Boruto's abilities work right now. Based off what I could tell, he's much stronger than Naruto and Sasuke put together. Like apparently he could fight everybody at once and win. So I still think this is fine saying like Luffy is still stronger than Naruto or Boruto. I think it's still fine. Even currently how Boruto is, I think it's still fine because even though Boruto probably still has a little bit more to go, or maybe he's already the strongest, or maybe the show's already gonna end, Luffy still also has more to go. We still haven't seen everything in Gear 5. I think it's still reasonable, even with just using logic. I think Luffy could still find a way to defeat Boruto using his like Toon Force powers. Now, granted, Toon Force doesn't really allow you to kill or defeat anybody, but in this case, Luffy has something even beyond that because his, in quotation marks, I've searched up, Toon Force doesn't allow you to like put someone in so much harm that like you like they're gonna die. But in this case, Luffy essentially killed Kaido. By knocking him into lava, he's dead. He's pretty much dead. And yeah. So it's like if Luffy ends up punching like Boruto into space or something and he can't come back, it's like it's over. If Luffy ends up punching you into like the planet and the fucking planet explodes, then GG. It's like, but that's it. If you disagree, that's fine. That's cool. I mean, you could probably just be like, oh, you know, like you probably still don't believe that Toon Force is all. No, trust me, Bugs Bunny would shit on like 99% of like any character you can think of. Popeye will probably shit on like 99% of any character you can. The only character beating Popeye is probably Bugs Bunny. And then the only character beating Bugs Bunny is like you have to be the fucking author of the story. And then even then you probably still don't beat him because apparently according to the author, Bugs Bunny could just write his own story. So it's like even if he was in the like even if he felt threatened enough by anybody, like we're getting to the point into the story where if Luffy just starts like bouncing off of the border of the manga panels, then it's like what the fuck is going on? Like he's essentially like fourth dimensional, fifth dimension. Like he's I think fifth dimensional is like reality warping at that point. Let me see. I probably because fourth dimension is like you're above space and time, if I'm correct. And then fifth dimension is like reality, manipulating concepts and stuff like that. That's essentially where, like, if I'm correct, fifth dimensional lies on. Luffy is now like he's hovering between fourth and fifth, but he's probably more fifth than anything because what the fuck do you do to him if he can just say fuck it? Your strongest attack is now a balloon. Like if he can turn poison into baseballs, it's like or whatever the fuck he's physically turning them into, it's like well, he can't. There's pretty much nothing he can't do. He turned venom into a baseball, so it's like if you are something that he can touch or affect, like he'll just morph you into like some sort of balloon animal and pop you, I guess. Like he can, I don't know what the fuck he can do. It depends on Luffy. So I think personally he's probably limitless. At the end of the show, he's probably limitless. There's probably no bounds. There's probably nothing he can't do. Cause we're already getting to a point where it's like, if the strongest enemy is stronger than Luffy, or can even stop Luffy, which nothing in reality should be able to stop Luffy, then we're fucked. Unless we start getting to like more Toon Force shit, like, oh man. Like if there's another Toon Force creature that can like stop Luffy, like, oh man, then that's definitely like crazy as fuck. But anyways, I will catch you guys later. I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna leave the video here. If you disagree, I mean, let me know why you disagree. I think I've proven that Luffy is pretty much using Toon Force at this point and is pretty much a 4th to 5th dimensional being who's essentially manipulating concepts at this point, or fucking with matter manipulation at this point. So I'll catch you guys later. Deuces, goodbye. It's been your boy. You already know. Comment, like, subscribe. Peace.